Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to Stitch and Thread. My name is Anna, and on this channel I'm sharing my creative endeavors, primarily knitting. And today I have a regular podcast episode for you. So today I have two finished objects to share. One of them is a knitted dress. It's gorgeous, so I can't wait to talk to you about it. Then I have two works in progress, as well as some plans and acquisitions. So let's dive in. Okay, I'm going to start with the project I'm most excited about, and it is a Melides dress by Ines Oliveira. I started knitting this dress, I believe, in the beginning of June, and I knitted on it throughout the whole summer. Summer is over now, but my dress is done, and I'm really happy about it. So let me just show you. I probably will not wear it. I don't think you can see it all anyway, but I have some footage done, a video of me wearing it. So if you want to have an idea, or you can go to my Instagram. I'll just put it in the description below, as well as all the patterns I'm mentioning or the yarns I'm using. So if you ever in doubt, please look in the description or just comment below, and I will do my best to answer. So going back to the dress. So this beauty, look at that. This beauty is Melides dress, I believe. Let me just try to show you the length if I can, all the way down. Yeah, so I think last time I was talking to you about this dress, I was knitting, I think about high hips, so somewhere around here. So as you can see, I had still a long way to go. So, and the last time I was talking to you about this dress, I was saying how I'm a bit concerned that I might not have enough time to finish this dress before my holiday, and spoiler alert, I didn't. But not in the way I was expecting that. So what should I say about the dress first? Let me just put it on. I think it's quite heavy. Let me just put it on. So speaking of this dress, it was a lot of stockinette to knit back and forth, and I think I powered through it quite well, because it was end of July, beginning of August, and there was a lot of sport on TV, obviously Olympic Games, and even though it's pearls and knits then back on 3mm needles, even though I had 3mm needles for my knit stitches, and on the way back I used 275 for my purl stitches, because my purl stitches are slightly larger, and I wanted to make sure that this dress is perfect. And to be honest, I cannot see any issues with my purl and stitches being slightly larger here. So the knitting went reasonably smoothly. I didn't have many issues, and I finished it, and it's really exciting. You see this dress, it seemed to be almost done. And then the fun starts. So first of all, you need to do the I-cord for the armholes, for the neckline, for the whole section. Let me take the dress again. So you have to do all the I-cords here, all the way here. Then obviously, the interesting thing about this dress, it is reversible, so you can wear it like this, which is my preferred way of wearing it. Or if you so desire, you can have a very sexy bag with all these buttons, and you can just wear it as normal. And so you have to have a very long I-cord. You just start right there, all the way up, all the way around it, all the way back. So as you can imagine, it took a while. However, I've heard a few people had issues with this I-cord is being too tight. To be honest, I followed the designer's advice on the pickup rate, and I was absolutely fine. I think for the first time, I don't have any issues with it being pulled or too tight or too loose, to be fair. So I think the designer did a very good job at explaining it. And so you think, you do I-cord, you do actually a button band as well. at the same time on the left side, right? So you do button band, everything's fine, and then the last thing you need to do is to reinforce the button band, and I think they're reinforcing the button band is is something that almost broke me. The thing is, in order to reinforce, you need to do the crochet on one side, the crochet on the other side of the button band. You need to seam. I believe you can seam using the sewing machine, but I'm not proficient enough, and obviously that also took a while. There's a little bit, all the instructions are there for you. They're pretty clear, and for someone like me who's a beginner knitter, I found them invaluable. However, it took a long time, and it's very difficult when you needed the whole dress. You're almost there, and it's just such a slog. This is when I feel my joy of knitting this dress evaporated. But I did it again. Thanks, Olympics. I did it. And all was left is to attach the buttons. And this is where it got fun. I purchased the suggested buttons for my Fabrique de Bouton in France. I mean, I'm here in the UK, so obviously ordering anything from France might take some time. However, when I ordered the buttons, they arrived reasonably quickly, but I didn't order enough. I actually checked later, and it's just me. The designer said you need to order between 15 to 25 buttons for the dress, and the shop sold them in packs of 12. So I was like, 12 should be enough. I mean, how many buttons do you need? And I didn't plan to wear to knit a very long dress, so I decided 12 is fine. However, it's exactly around 5 buttons that I was missing in the end. When I lined the dress and realized how many buttons I need, I kind of panicked a bit. I was like, okay, probably don't have enough time now before my holiday to order from France. So I went to my local shop. I ordered some buttons because, again, they didn't have enough in stock. I think they were small, actually quite nice because they were a little bit with this kind of green undertone, so I thought they would actually be perfect for the dress. Again, I had to wait for a couple of days. They arrived. I picked them for my store, and because I've already done the button band, it turned out they were a little bit, maybe like a millimeter, 2 millimeters, just too large. I could force them to close. I mean, I could just, but I just felt it's just wrong. I would never be able to, undo 15 buttons. It just would be just too painful. So I was like, okay, that's that's a bummer. Okay, so I was like, okay, I have no choice now. I will go with the suggested buttons. I already have a few. I'll just order some more. Possibly they will arrive in time before my departure to France, actually, on our holiday. And would you believe my luck? I go on a website and it says that they are shut for summer holidays up until 2nd of September. This is when I realized that it is game over. So that was it. So I think actually I decided to start on the buttons anyway, and I did the buttons, some of the buttons that I had, and ordered some more. So it's only this beginning of September that I was able to finish this dress, unfortunately, because I was really looking forward to try and wear it in the summer and when the weather is nice. Unfortunately, in the UK, I think you might see it's a bit of sunshine today, but it's not warm. I'm wearing now a top, but it's not warm enough. It's about 14 degrees Celsius, and it's cool. So I believe I can only wear this dress already next year. However, it's something to be excited about. So I cannot give you any reflections on me wearing this dress because I just didn't have a chance to wear. But first of all, I would like to give some feedback on the pattern. If you decide to wear, because I think I just talked about this dress a while, but I want just to have a big recap. So if you are thinking of knitting this dress, you know what you are getting yourself into. Just to give you my background, I'm a beginner knitter. So obviously I did, I think, I code before maybe one time, but a lot of techniques I either have videos to tell you about them, or they reasonably simple. So the dress itself is knit, knits and purls, a few increases. So the most important thing is for you to be paying attention and have enough patience to knit such a long piece, because it took me like 3 months, right? And might take you longer. However, I wouldn't say that it is a complex pattern. It is intimidating because the pattern itself is about 40 pages. It walks you through the start, which is taking your measurements. The dress itself is made to measure, so I had to measure myself, in all these places. I personally knitted a size 1. I was very lucky. I think all my measurements were just for size 1, but in the dress itself, there is a way to adjust not only for your raw gauge, which mine was a bit different from the designer, so I had to do that adjustment, but you can adjust depending if you're size 1 in like in bust area, and size 2 or 3 say in your hip areas. So it's all incorporated. Apart from the pattern, you receive something called the Melides dress calculator, where you put your raw gauge and you put some other measurements, and you can see the rate of your increases. So it is a bit complicated in that respect, but once you get a hold of it, it's not too bad. And generally, I think the hardest part was to knit, because you start knitting from like high waist, I believe, and you knit up. And it was the hardest part because you have the rates of decreases on one side and they're different from the other. So you have to pay attention. I had to, my pattern was, because I printed it out, and I had to kind of go row by row and just kind of cross it to make sure I'm in the right place. However, in terms of knitting it, I wouldn't say it was difficult. It was a bit of a slog towards the end, because when you go to the hip area and you just stuck in it all the way down, with a bit in the end, you have actually here a bit as well. You have a bit of like linen stitch here. Maybe, don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can show you in the end. Yeah, so it's like this, and you have these dart stitches, which I feel like give a nice shape to the dress, and it looks really lovely on you. So all in all, the pattern itself, you can see the designer spent probably months on it. Absolutely love it. I know that their designer was thinking of updating the pattern and releasing a new version. So obviously I cannot speak for new version when it comes out, because for some people, I guess it could be a little bit overwhelming. It's a lot, but designer goes section by section. So if you just go section by section, you should be fine. So that's about the pattern. Highly recommend, very detailed. I feel by knitting this dress, I learned a lot of new things. But at the same time, I had enough details not to get kind of lost. So that's one. Second, I would like to talk a little bit about the yarn. So the designer suggested to use Knitting for Olive pure silk. Let me just show it. That's mine. Mine is in color Pea Shorts. Gorgeous color. So this is, you have 250 meters in 50 grams. It was interesting to knit this this silk. So I have experience knitting in cotton, linen now, like some blends, and silk as well. I wouldn't say it was super easy on my hands, but it wasn't as bad as cotton. I realized cotton is really hard on my hands. So it was, I mean, I could knit for quite a while, but I think you should be aware it's not that easy on your hands, especially on this small gauge. However, what I want to try, because this is what they call, I believe, barrette silk. I also do some Japanese embroidery, which is basically you use silk, which is mulberry silk, on silk fabric as well. So I have kind of this disconnect in my brain, because silk in Japanese embroidery is just so different to this, and I almost can't accept that this is the same silk, I guess. So I feel it's a very different feeling from that shiny kind of feeling, just the smoothness of it. It is closer to cotton in the feeling than to the silk, which kind of I feel what silk is like. But nevertheless, what I'm curious about how it is going to wear. I do feel silk is a very like summer fabric, and when I tried the dress on, it was quite nice. You know, you feel like in summer it should be fine. So I think it's still silk, even though it does not look like silk. All right, I think that's enough about this pattern. If you have any questions, if you want to knit this dress and you're unsure, feel free to message me. Just comment below. I will do my best to help, because I can imagine this is an undertaking, and you might be, just like me, intimidated to start this pattern. But as of now, I feel this is the most accomplished knit to date, and I'm really, really proud of it. So the next finished project I want to share with you is finally what I'm wearing, and this is the Calm Night Cami by Lily Kate France, and as you can see, it is a V-neck shaped camisole with double knit edging here, as well as an armholes. And let me just here you just have ribbing at the bottom. I will try to insert some footage again of me wearing it, so you can get a better idea of how it looks like than me just sitting there. But I mean, I'm quite excited about the color. What do you think? It's, I don't know, it's a bit out of my comfort zone, but I feel it kind of brightens up a little bit. Again, it is a summer knit, so chances are I won't be able to wear a lot of it here in the UK, but again, another item to look forward to wear next summer, I guess. So let me talk about this top a bit more. So last time I spoke with you, I believe I already did the back panel, front panel, and I just joined in the round. And I remember talking to you that it just seemed to be way too wide, this top. So right after the podcasts, I decided to check my swatch, kind of to check what's going on. So I was knitting this top using 3.5mm needles, though the designer suggested needle size was 325, so slightly smaller than mine. But I'm the tight knitter, so for me that was quite a regular occurrence. So I checked my gauge. I was perfectly on gauge on 3.5. I think I had 26 stitches, but I decided to do another swatch on 3. I believe it's this one actually. Let me see. No, this is my original swatch on 3.5, which I thought, you know, it was perfect, you know, just which is why I started knitting. But then I did another swatch on 3mm needles, thinking, okay, because it's my top just way too wide, and I got 30 stitches, which is way too many. And I was wondering what to do. I decided to check my back panel just to see how many stitches do I get, and I got 28, so right in the middle. So my swatch says 26, however the way I'm knitting the actual top is 28, so 2 stitches more, which explains exactly why my top is just so much wider. So I was pondering what to do, because obviously there's 2 stitches difference, but I also checked the swatch measurement swatch gauge before and after blocking, and blocking didn't do any difference to the gauge. So I decided to trust the way I knit, and after lots of deliberations and maths involved, I decided to knit this top again, so I unraveled the whole thing and decided to use my 3mm needles. Even though my swatch was saying it's going to be too tight, I thought if it's going to be the same issues with the previous swatch, I'll still have not extra 4 stitches, but I'll have like extra 2. And my calculations, I'm not going to bore you with these details, told me that if the way I'm knitting this top, I'm going to continue, even on smaller needles, I would have maybe just a little bit, a couple of centimeters less ease, which, as you can see, kind of, I mean, you don't want it to be too tall, but it's just, I think, perfect. It just hits me in the right places. So that's what I did. So sadly, I had to re-knit this whole top on 3mm needles all over. And with that sort of gauge, it took me some time. And again, as I say, summer is over, but I've got the top. I would like to speak a little bit about the yarn. So the designer suggests yarn, I believe it was Yarn Art, something like that. It's a bit of a sport weight yarn. I found, as I think, a reasonably good alternative. It's Summer in Kashmir by BC Garn. All I have left is just this tiny amount. Let me just show you. So you can see how it looks. So this is, I think I was talking about this yarn before. This is 90% cotton and 10% cashmere here. And even 10% cashmere made all the difference in the world to me. So I would say I can highly recommend it, apart from one thing. Not sure, I mean, I don't think you can see it when you're kind of right here, but let me see if I can find, because I could see when I was wearing it. No, sadly, even I can't do it now. But I believe one of the balls I had some issues with the dye. So I had quite a few, I mean 5-6 stitches, which were kind of whitish. I mean, I think here you can't really see it too well, but when I was blocking, when I was knitting, I was like, wow, again, no way. But I think it was one ball which had this issue, which is why I'm a little bit reluctant to 100% recommend this, but chances are it was just my bad luck, so maybe just one unfortunate ball. The rest of them were fine. And the designer said that you need 4 balls of yarn. Let me just see, I have 165 meters in a ball. I think it's exactly the same meterage as in the suggested yarn, so it's fine. However, I literally just broke into my 4th ball when I was finishing, I believe, or halfway through my ribbing, so at the bottom, and I thought maybe I could have, got away with less, but no. Again, maybe it's for me. I don't really need a lot of double bands in my life. Didn't at least so far. I didn't realize how much yarn it takes. So even though I just broke into my 4th ball, just these edges, like here at the front as well as armholes, took more than like 30 grams, I believe, of my yarn. So I have like 18 grams left. So most of it went into double knitted edges. So if you're pondering and thinking of playing yarn chicken with this top, the best thing you can do is whenever you finish the ball somewhere here, just first do the double knitted bands, because you will need them. They really making a difference to this pattern. Without it, would, because I had all the edges going, all over the place, and I feel these additional details really elevated this top to something wearable and nice looking. So yes, if you're planning to play young chicken, make sure you do that, because I didn't realize how much yarn it would take. I even was worried that after I did, I think 2 armholes, I'm like, oh my god, will I have enough? Because you seem to be just going so quickly. But luckily, I think the double knitted band here for the front, for the neckline, is much smaller than for the armhole. So it took less yarn, but I was worried. Okay, enough about the yarn. Now about the pattern. Again, I can't say much about variability of this item yet. However, I can say about the pattern, and I really actually want to say a lot about this pattern. I really enjoyed the way Lily Kate France structured this pattern. She kind of doesn't hold your hand per se. She gives you enough details for the say easy kind of straight going sections, and she provides you with more details with diagrams, tables, which really enhances your understanding and exactly at the places where needed. Where I mean, you almost feel like she knows exactly where you would have this kind of moment, like, what did I do here? So it just very, very organized pattern, very nicely written. So after knitting this, I don't have any reservations about knitting another pattern from this designer. So highly recommend. I really liked it. Whoever she uses as a tag editor is doing a very good job. Okay, I think by finishing those two items, I'm more or less wrapped up my summer knitting, and kind of my mood, my whole head is already going into autumn. I've just actually released a video with my autumn knitting plans, so if you haven't watched it, please do. It's really exciting. I don't know, I'm just so inspired by all the new designs, and I do wish I had more than two hands so I could knit more. It's perfect time. And even, weather in the UK, obviously, already we've forgotten what summer is. I'm ready to dive in. And the first project I want to share with you is probably not even an autumn project per se. I would say it's like winter, so we go straight into winter. However, let me just show you this beauty the best way I can, at least. This is, sorry, all these things. So this is, it actually looks really lovely. I can see myself, I actually needed the same one for myself, so it just looks very familiar. Maybe I'll try to find a video and show you myself in a very similar design. So this is a Selene Junior sweater by Anne Vansel, designer whose designs I admire. I mean, if I could, I probably would knit most of her patterns. However, so as I said, I've already knitted one for myself in exactly the same color combination, apart from more hair. Mine I had more hair. So I knitted for myself Super Selene in drop cell, in colors Antracite and I believe like cream or white. So this is the same. I had 3.5 balls remaining from my sweater, and I decided to knit with the remaining balls a sweater, a Selene Junior sweater for my son, who's 7 now. However, Drops Air is slightly thinner yarn than the designer recommends, and she recommends, I believe, Isar, no, it was like Gepard Pruno or something, Isar Ecosoft. So they're a little bit plumper yarns than this. So because of that, I decided to kind of knit size 10 and her pattern rather size 8 for my son, and I think I'm doing well with that. I didn't swatch. I was a bit in a rush because I wanted to take this project to knit in the car when my husband is driving us all the way France. So I mean, it's a very nice yarn. It's kind of a blow up yarn. Let me just find it. Sorry, I don't have another ball left, but that's what it looks like. It's a blown yarn. So, as you can see, I've started, I believe it was Italian cast-on. You do, I believe I used 4.5mm needles for that. Then I increased to 5mm needles to do color work, because that's how designer recommends, and I found for myself as well. I try to knit a bit tighter when I do color work, so increasing the needle size works for me. Okay, then I switch back to 4.5mm needles to knit their body. As you can see, it's a bit hectic here with this lovely ball. I kind of did the length, but I was a bit scared that I would run out of yarn. My ball was finishing. It's actually right here. I didn't bind off, so I didn't even set up rows just to make sure I actually have enough yarn. So I decided to see how my my sleeves would go, how much yarn I will use, because by the time I knitted the body, I had, out of 3.5 balls I had one left, and I quickly realized that having one ball for 2 sleeves won't be enough. So I ordered yet another ball of this Antracite color of Drops Air. However, I've heard quite a bit about Drops yarns of different dye lots to be quite different. So basically I divide my remaining one ball into 25 gram chunks, I guess small balls. So I weigh them, and I'm knitting so with the half of the ball that I had, plus another ball of newly purchased yarn. I can't see. I mean, it's basically like one row of each. So I mean, if you can see, I mean, I can't see the difference, and I must admit, when I received the ball, I was tempted not to do that, but I decided just in case, because sometimes you don't see. I had once a bit of a cardigan when I got another dye lot, and it just didn't work. So I'm a bit reluctant to do that again, regardless if I don't see the color difference. I decided to do that. So hopefully, with my 2 balls should be enough to finish 2 sleeves. And as I say, I mean, already kind of halfway through the first sleeve. It's very easy, very quickly. It is a very rewarding knit. I needed one for myself, I needed one for my daughter, and I needed one for my husband, because he also was jealous of me walking in the sweater, being so warm and cozy. So, and I just love it. Look, gorgeous. I love it. So I can't wait for the whole family to have the same sweaters. Hopefully it will be done by the next episode, I think so. Yeah, it just goes way too quickly. The second work in progress that I would like to share with you is a Lanta bag by Susan Müller. I believe this pattern was featured in my summer knitting plans, and I've started on a holiday, so let me just show you what I've got. So Lanta bag is this kind of simple bag for groceries. Oh, it's kind of a bit sadly matted, so I'm gonna show it in a nicer way. I don't know, but you can see here more or less. I more or less knitted the whole the whole body of the bag. So I'm at the point now you can see this kind of what I put a lifeline, different color. I need to start knitting like in the, I believe like 4 like triangles. So I'm at the point where I will stop knitting this lace motif, which is actually very simple. It's my first lace motif. I'm doing a never really done lace, but again in the pattern it's all quite easily described, as well as you have like a diagrams to show exactly what you're doing. So thank you, Susan Müller. It was very handy. But yeah, I really wanted to have a bag where sometimes in the town I'm walking somewhere, I need to get groceries, whatever, but some bananas, I don't know, apples, whatever, and I'm always like, oh, what is the bag? I don't want to buy another bag in the supermarket. So it is going to be a bag, my grocery bag, when it's done, hopefully. A note on yarn, I'm using Paintbox yarns recycled cotton worsted. Not much I can tell you about this yarn apart from that the fact that it is 100% cotton, which is fine. As I say, I don't really enjoy working with 100% cotton, but I had it in my stash for a while, and you do need something quite special, for this bag. And I don't know if it's because it's 100% cotton or possibly because it is a lace pattern or both, but I couldn't really knit this for more than few rows at a time. I had to kind of stop and knit something else. So still did quite a good progress during my holidays, because it was easily recognizable. However, I've made a mistake. Your leitmotif changes slightly depending on which row you are in order to keep beginning of the round in the same place. But at some point I didn't have pattern and I wanted to continue knitting, so I was like, okay, I'll just continue. I've already kind of memorized the pattern itself, but that beginning of the round, it was a bit tricky and I didn't really do it well. So my beginning of the round slightly shifted, which is another reason why I put a lifeline. In case something goes wrong, I won't be able to figure out how to continue now without with the beginning of the round being in the wrong place. I might need to kind of unravel in return, but hopefully it won't cause me too many issues. Fingers crossed. Okay, now slowly, or not very slowly, we're getting into my plants and acquisitions part. So in terms of plants, as I said, I made a video on my plants where I talk about the patterns I'm going to be doing, and I'm already starting on some of them. So I did a couple of swatches, which I'm going to share with you now. Number one is a swatch, this one, beautiful. This is what I've made for Sonia shirt by Susan Müller. I'll put a picture here so you know what I'm talking about. And the designer calls for for yarn, BC Garn Bio Balance, which is 55% pure organic wool and 45% pure organic cotton. And it looks like this. It looks kind of grayish. It has a little bit, I believe, do I have it like blue undertones? Hard to say, but it looks a bit different on camera than I feel in real life. But anyway, that's the yarn I'm planning to use, and I believe the pattern has a lot of German short rows, and I'm yet to master them, unfortunately. I watched a ton of videos. I can show you if I find a picture. I did a special swatch where I was trying to master the German short rows. Yet to master them. I don't know if you have a magical video where you know where it clicked for you. I feel like I know exactly how it works, but for some reason, especially when you go from wrong side to the right, from the purl to knit side, and you need to tighten, I just don't think it works for me very well, and my stitches, those double stitches, are always very, very uneven. And actually this top had some German short rows. I don't know if I can show, but they're not they're not here. You see, they're not the neatest here as well. So and this Sonia shirt has a lot of German short rows. So I'm kind of trying to practice some more of the German short rows before I start, because I read the pattern, already own it, and it's plenty. Okay, another plan I have, and I have actually a few swatches I did. Wait, let me just show you at least one. So it's another swatch I did. It's Drops Baby Merino. So like I don't have the actual color. Something like lavender. Oh, maybe I do. No, I do. So it's Drops Baby Merino. It's lovely. So it's not in the sun. Okay. So which color? It says color 25, but you can say something like lavender. I don't recall the exact name, but that's gonna be what was the name? Little Violet cardigan, I believe, from Jessica McDonald. So it's gonna be finally a cardigan. I'm very excited about this. So, and my daughter is excited. She needs a cardigan or two, as we all do. So it's gonna be this beautiful color. I'm not sure if it's my color, not sure. But anyway, everything looks gorgeous on her. Any color, it seems, any bright color would do. So that's my second plan. And one acquisition I've made is this lovely Lana Gatto Merinocot. So what is it? I don't know. This kind of navy. I mean, that's look, it's not too bright, a bluish, like navy blue, and that's going to be another cardigan for my daughter, hopefully. So I believe that's it. I don't really have any more acquisitions. No, I do. Let me just grab it. Okay, I'm back. So I lied when I said I don't have any more acquisitions. I don't have any more acquisitions which are related to knitting, but there's something I saw and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. So for the first time ever, I purchased an embroidery magazine, and look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? This little penguin. So apparently this is a door kind of stopper, for the doors not to close. And this penguin, I love penguins. I don't know how else. I have a soft spot for penguins. I love them. And when I saw this penguin, I just couldn't stop. So I don't think making this would happen anytime soon, but I just thought, okay, that's it. If you're still here, thank you for watching this video till the end. If you like my content, the videos I make, the projects I'm doing, please consider subscribing. It would help grow my channel. If you have any questions about patterns I'm doing, maybe you want, you're inspired and you want to do the same, and, we can just have a nice conversation. So feel free to comment below. It would be nice to connect with like-minded people. In any way, let me know, what are your autumn inspiration? What are you planning to knit this autumn? Happy to see you all here, and until the next time, bye.